Day 51. Leviticus chapter 22 and 23. Why does God care about these small rules? What someone eats. Who marries whom. How to harvest crops. Even how long people should live in temporary shelters. But when you slow down and listen carefully, Leviticus chapter 22 and 23 reveal some whispers that resonate with our present lives. God is not distant. He is deeply involved in the details of everyday life. And those details shape our hearts. We will begin where God gives this instruction. He must not eat anything found dead or torn by wild animals, and so become unclean through it. I am the Lord. This is a principle. Don't consume what has already been corrupted. Spiritually speaking, what are we feeding on? Are we feeding on bitterness, corrupt conversations, ungodly influences? Content that tears down rather than builds up. Sometimes what we consume seems harmless, but God is teaching His people that purity matters, even in private choices. Holiness isn't just about public worship, it's about what you allow into your life when no one else sees. And notice how God ends it. I am the Lord. In other words, I see, I care, and I am shaping you. If a priest's daughter marries anyone other than a priest, she may not eat any of the sacred contributions. This wasn't about rejection. It was about identity and responsibility. Sacred things were tied to sacred calling. When her life direction changed, her access changed. Who you join yourself to affects your spiritual access and atmosphere. Marriage, friendships, business partnerships. The people we align with influence what we participate in. God isn't being restrictive. He's being protective. He knows that spiritual environments matter. If you're seeking God, ask yourself, are my closest relationships helping me walk deeper into sacred spaces, or pulling me away from them? Then comes this unusual command, do not slaughter a cow or a sheep, and its young on the same day. Why would God care about that? Because cruelty hardens the heart. God was teaching His people sensitivity, even toward animals. If you become comfortable destroying life carelessly, your heart becomes numb, and numb hearts struggle to hear God. Today, we may not be farmers, but the principle remains. How do we treat what is vulnerable? Children, the elderly, animals, employees, strangers. God notices how we handle power. Spiritual maturity isn't just about prayer. It's about compassion. On this whisper, God commands generosity. But not leftovers. Not scraps. Intentional margin. He tells them not to maximize profit. Leave the edges. We're trained to harvest everything in the world we live in. Every opportunity. Every dollar. Every advantage. But God says, leave room for someone else's survival. Leave room in your schedule. Leave room in your budget. Leave room in your heart. Generosity is not spontaneous. It's planned. When you seek God, He may ask you not to maximize everything, because sometimes holiness looks like margin. Then in the Feast of Tabernacles, God commands, live in temporary shelters for 7 days. All native-born Israelites are to live in such shelters. Why would settled people move into tents? To remember. To remember they once lived in wilderness. To remember God carried them. To remember they are dependent. Comfort makes us forget. Houses make us forget. Careers make us forget. Success makes us forget. But God intentionally interrupts comfort with reminders. You are passing through. This world is temporary. Security comes from Him. Sometimes God allows seasons that feel like tents, instead of houses. Not to punish you but to remind you. Your stability is not your structure, it is your shepherd. Leviticus chapter 23 outlines feasts and appointed times. God schedules joy. He commands rest. He commands remembrance. He commands celebration. These days, rest feels optional. Celebration feels earned. But God builds rhythm into life. Work. Rest. Worship. Gratitude. If you're exhausted spiritually, maybe you've ignored sacred rhythms. Seeking God isn't just about doing more. It's about aligning your time with His design. The passages we read today may seem full of ancient rules. But look closer and you'll see. God cares about what you consume. He cares about who you join yourself to. He cares about how you treat the vulnerable. He cares about your generosity. He cares about your rhythms. He cares about your memory. Holiness isn't harsh control. It is loving formation. When God says, I am the Lord, He isn't threatening, He's reminding, I am your God. I am shaping you. I am with you. So if you are seeking God today, start with the small things. Guard what you consume. Choose relationships wisely. Leave room for generosity. Practice compassion. Build rhythms of worship. Remember that this world is temporary.